What if you could see the invisible? I mean, really see it. Today, we're diving into a technology that does exactly that. It's called hyperspectral imaging. And trust me, it's not science fiction. It's a real-world superpower that is completely changing how we see. Well, everything. Okay, think about the camera on your phone. Now imagine if it could do more than just snap a photo. What if it could look at an apple and tell you its sugar content, or how perfectly ripe it is, or even spot a bruise that's hiding just under the skin? That right there is the power of hyperspectral imaging. It's not about seeing better, it's about understanding what you're seeing on a molecular level. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, a regular photo, and our own eyes for that matter, sees the world in just three basic colors: red, green, and blue. That's it. But a hyperspectral image, it goes so much deeper. It actually captures a material's unique chemical fingerprint, revealing what it's truly made of. And this fingerprint of light is the absolute key to the whole thing. See, every single material out there, from a blade of grass in your yard to a star billions of miles away, interacts with light in its own unique way. Hyperspectral imaging is basically the technology that lets us read those unique signatures and understand the story they're telling us. This unique light signature is what scientists call a spectral signature, and the chemical fingerprint analogy is perfect. Just like your fingerprint is totally unique to you, the way any material reflects and absorbs light is totally unique to it. By reading that signature, we can identify pretty much anything, from a single sick plant in a huge field to a rare mineral buried deep in the earth. And here, right here, is where you can really see the massive difference. A standard camera, like on your phone, captures just 3 broad bands of color. You can get a little fancier with something called a multispectral camera, which might see maybe 20 bands. But a hyperspectral camera, we're talking about hundreds of super narrow, incredibly detailed bands of light. That huge leap in resolution is what lets us go from just seeing green to identifying the specific chemical compounds in a leaf. Just 3. That's all. When you really stop and think about it, a standard camera's view of the world is, well, it's incredibly limited compared to what's actually out there. And here's the jump. From 3 to hundreds. Every single one of those extra bands is another clue, another piece of the puzzle that lets us build that stunningly detailed chemical fingerprint. So you're probably wondering, how do we actually capture all of this amazing data? I mean, all those hundreds of clues don't just get smushed into a flat picture. No, they come together to build something much, much more powerful. It's called a hypercube. Let's break down how it's made. The best way to think about a hypercube isn't as a single photo, but as a huge digital stack of photos. Imagine the top layer shows the object just in deep violet light. The next layer shows it in blue, the next in green, and you keep going, layer after layer, through hundreds of different shades of light, many of which are completely invisible to our eyes. That entire stack, the 2D image combined with that third dimension of light, that's the hypercube. Now, one of the most common ways to build this thing is with a method called line scanning. So instead of one big snapshot, the camera carefully scans an object one thin line at a time. And for every single pixel in that one line, it records the entire light spectrum. Then it just moves to the next line and the next and the next, stacking all that incredibly rich data together to create that powerful 3D hypercube. This whole line scanning thing is absolutely perfect for things that are already moving, like products on a conveyor belt, or for mapping the Earth from a plane or satellite. But what about things that are happening in an instant, like a surgeon looking at a beating heart? For that, there's snapshot imaging, which captures the whole scene at once. This kind of versatility is exactly what makes hyperspectral imaging so incredibly useful. Okay, enough theory. That's how it works. Let's see what it can actually do. We're going to look at a real-world lab test where scientists used this exact technology to take a closer look at some food. All right, so to you and me, this looks, well, it looks like a cookie. We see its shape, we see its color, but the real story, the story of its chemistry, is completely hidden from us. But then you slide it under a hyperspectral camera, and boom, the ordinary becomes pretty extraordinary. This heat map reveals a whole hidden world of chemical variations all across the cookie's surface. It's like a vibrant landscape of data that was totally invisible just a second ago. So what do all these wild colors actually mean? Well, according to the research, the blue areas are where the material is absorbing more light at a specific wavelength. The yellow and red spots, that's where the light is bouncing off more. By analyzing these patterns across hundreds of different wavelengths, scientists can literally create a detailed chemical map of the cookie, seeing exactly where different ingredients are concentrated. And look, this is just one cookie. Now imagine taking this same technology and applying it to medicine, or to farming, or even forensics. The potential to see our world in a completely new way is honestly limitless. And this isn't some brand new tech that just appeared yesterday. It's been evolving for decades. It actually got its start with NASA's remote sensing programs way back in the 70s. From there, it moved into big industrial jobs. And now it's finding its way into our hospitals, onto our farms, and even into crime scenes. The applications today are just mind-blowing. In agriculture, a drone can spot crop disease from the air long before a farmer could ever see it. In forensics, it can pick out microscopic clues that are invisible to the naked eye. In medicine, it can actually help surgeons tell the difference between healthy tissue and cancerous tissue. This technology is quietly revolutionizing field after field, all by making the invisible visible. When you really boil it all down, what we've done here is we've basically given ourselves a new sense, the ability to see the chemical world all around us. It takes our observation from just, guessing what something is like, to quantitatively knowing what it's made of. And that leaves us with one heck of a question. Now that we can see the invisible, what will we look for next?